When we live our lives with hustle, worries, it's alive, you know. We have to have a place where emotionally we feel good. My fairy tale portals is a place to viewers of my paintings to dive in them and feel good. My art name is Lark, the bird that lingering between the earth and the sky. That's how I create my art. Meditate and start with spontaneous movements of my instruments. My best creation actually takes place in the state of no mind.
She takes paint and just puts it on the canvas and smushes it, but it's magnificent the way she does it. So it's her techniques that are wonderful, and it's her topics.
She never has the story in her life. She just feels that creative energy, and she just giving all her to this creative energy, and then something happens, and then she might rationalize it.
You know, living with a creative person is just everything you would always just dreamed it would be. A lot of art all around, some of it finished, some of it in the process of finishing. Some you understand and really like, some of it you say, I can't stand it.
I'm a painter of fairy tale portals, and they appear spontaneously on my paintings as I would describe it physically as a whirls. It could be in the water, in the ocean, in the air, I saw in the sun, whatever you could, in the flowers, I call it fairy tale flower, in the forest. And they appear, it's not like I create them purposely, right? Then it will be not truthful. But they appear in the middle, like here, on this painting, and it's a place where people will see something shifting from this material world to energetic, maybe more laughter, more irony sometimes, but they feel better.
Lark Pilinsky was born in the remote mountains of Central Asia, in the former Soviet Union, in the intelligence family of a geologist and a language teacher. She grew up in the world of their dreams and explorations, surrounded by father's semi-precious stones and sounds of her mother's voice, singing songs in different languages and reading Shakespeare's sonnets. She learned from them to understand nature and to always have it as an ongoing source of inspiration and a wellspring of creative energy.
I was drawing from my very, very early childhood. I used to live in Russia at the moment. We were competing with my brother whose drawing would be better. But my life, I will not go into details, like pointed other directions. But when I came to United States and I saw how people creatively free how to express their feeling. They don't need to be realistic. They don't need to paint in particular style. I start painting again.
She adjusted almost immediately when she got here. And by the time I got to know her, we sort of clicked on that basis, so that any adjustments or conflicts of cultures were very rare, really. I think you can summarize it, and she's a very strong person anyway.
Hello! Good to see you. Come on in. Good to see you. We are an online gallery, and our online gallery consists of antiques and ancient pieces and cultural pieces from around the world. What we're interested in is art that reflects some higher spiritual issues, that is done with an artistic uniqueness, something that draws the viewer into it and makes them think. And Lark's pieces, as the first person we have worked with on contemporary art, fit that to its ultimate.
I love to experiment and see what happens. I know that people feel joy, peace, and harmony when they look at my work. And I think it's because it heals their emotional wounds and it makes me happy. 10 years before I came to United States, I actually started promoting artists in Russia. And I continued promoting artists. That's my beginning to connect with art community. And I connected with people who were like me. So from one point it was difficult because I was working in secretarial position full time. So I can create my art only after work. But at the same time, it gave me some strength and inspiration and energy that I could create the whole night. And by promoting other artists, I got recognition to myself too, because they accepted me to exhibit in their group. I'm not telling that each artist has to start with that, but it was my way to overcome obstacles.
There are people, I call them a hub person. A person who is in the intersection of a lot of contacts, a lot of ideas, a lot of energies. So basically, this person connecting all the ends together and then the magic happens. I feel like this is the Lark's usual role in what she is doing. And I'm not involved in her activities, what she makes for other immigrant artists, but I know about it because I was helping her with some processes. And she supported me a lot when I had the darkest times in my life.
My creations start shaping as abstract or impressionistic landscapes. Nature is my source of inspiration, but instead of landscape details, I channel the feeling of being one with nature, and I am swimming in its atmospheric light. I'm trying to express it on my canvas.
The sweeping, almost sculpted brushstrokes and vibrant glowing colors create a sense of depth and movement, as if her landscapes are a living, breathing energy. Hypnotized by ethereal and luminous quality, born from Lark's meditative process, the viewer has a feeling of gazing into a gateway to another world.
Actually, my portals start appearing in my collages, which I started 30 years ago. And I didn't pay much attention, but I gave them name Road from Samsara, which is in Eastern religion, considers this way when we live in physical world and don't see any escape of this, like maybe suffering, disease. And I started to find it in my paintings as an open circle. So, and one of my friends actually pointed, do you know that in all your collages this shape? And I said, what shape? And he's like, I will not tell you because you will start repeating it. I said, don't worry. If I'm already doing it, that's how my hand moving. Or that's how I see objects. And he said this circle, but not the closed circle. It always has an opening. And I realized that when I'm meditating, and I'm usually meditating when I create painting or collages, I go there. I go in some spiritual world that above us. I see it above, right? And as all people, I find the moments when I'm suffering. And at this moment, when I create those portals, I'm above. And I start painting, it's called more sumiyo, when it's black and white, but I use a few colors. which at this moment I feel. And I do few movements of my hands, and often it's this shape, like this whirl, right? Like.
She does a lot of things that might not at first look youthful, but they make you feel youthful and excited about something. And she also has often a sense of expectation. It might not be in the painting itself, but when you look at it, you know that something is about to happen that's wonderful. And that sets off your own imagination, which to me is what art should be about. It should set you thinking.
I would say the portal, I didn't find portals. Portals found me, right? They start appearing on my artworks. I just should recognize this, right? And telling the truth, I was very humble from the beginning, especially I was the artist close to the artist already exhibiting in the museums. So, but people start pointing to me, like also spiritual people. Do you know that this is portals? Do you know what does it mean? That it's gate to another world, right? And then I received recognition of famous critics, which, you know, it was not about spirituality. They just recognized that there's something new, something unique in my collages and then paintings. And I'm grateful to them for that. And I think it goes together when you recognize I did the portals, my artwork beautiful, other people start seeing your work with different, I mean viewers, because critics somehow saw it, but I didn't believe in it, right? But now I feel more and more people see it.
Lark has had a significant number of notable achievements and has been featured in prestigious exhibitions, including the Tokyo Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. Her awards include a Golden Award for the painting Vivaldi's Summer at a show at the Shiba City Museum of Art. Being featured in many art catalogs and purchased by collectors globally, including France, Italy, Germany, Russia, and Japan. She was part of the award-winning Bunker Art Group, considered rebels in abstraction.
In the beginning, I was like very humble about my own art. So I organized exhibitions for the other artists and just participated with them. So I was 80% organizer and let's say 20% exhibitor artist. Right now,
besides her brilliant sense of composition, she is the ultimate green artist, or maybe she is also the grand love child of Kandinsky and Schwitters. In her work recur the stark simplifications of suprematism and the extravagant elaborations of surrealism, the spare elegance of the Bauhaus, and the lush color of the Fauves.
When you create artwork, you shouldn't think how I exhibit or how would it be seen or not. It's not a moment to do it. But when it's already created and I look at my artwork, I really want people to see it. Because that's why, in a way, subconsciously or consciously, we create art. It's our, as one girl said, it's our flirt with society. You want to be visible. That's why you express yourself. Consciously or subconsciously, it's your dialogue, either with fellow artists, with general public. You want to be visible. And it was the motto on my website, on my gallery, was, we're making artists visible, right?
Speaking Creation brings you the voices of artists in their own words and in their own rhythm. Stick around, catch a vibe, share yours. You may inspire the next episode.
I actually call my art no mind art. And, you know, in this place, suddenly new energy from, I call it source. You could call it God, universe. I call it also the source of light. That's how I see, my perception, right? The light going through my head like vibrating. And recently I also learned to connect it with Mother Earth, because Mother Earth also have so much energy. And if you connect those two sources in your heart, that's where portal happened. On the last exhibition in Glendale, even my friend artist, he said, I don't know what is that. And then I explained, and he's like, oh, now I understand, right? Also, I love when I put my paintings on the Facebook, I ask people to give a title. And sometimes in this title, they go even deeper than I at this moment. I call them all portals, fairy tale, but they go like one, like God, like it's a seed of the tree, or seed of the idea, or this is the song of the flowers. And it gives more poetic, romantic overview. And sometimes they point me, do you see this, let's say, bird? No, telling the truth, I haven't seen it. But you pointed, it's your fairy tale. As many people exist, as many, some people just like my flowers, which I again don't do on purpose. I love flowers, I love gardening, and they just grow paintings. And by the way, the most difficult part in this case, when students start asking me, can you tell me how to paint flowers? No, not really. I can show how I do it, but I noticed when I do it, it's flower. When they do it, not necessary, okay? The same, like some asking how you do this foggy air in my portals, right? Like some entrances like this. That's happened. Sorry, guys. I can't again say how I start, but it took me 20 years to get there. So go with me, study it, and maybe it happened.
Thank you for feeling the pulse of our art and being in the world of speaking creation. Subscribe to meet more artists. Comment on what moves you. Art makes us human.
For all my viewers who come to see my paintings, I hope that they can dive in this place and this world. I want them easily find it. And then the minimum, relax, right? Feel like in your childhood. Feel the joy. And feel maybe that you're a magician. Because in childhood we don't know that we cannot do something. We think we can fly. We think we can do magic, and we do.